Now it's a very frustrating time for everyone to be told to stop doing what you love, your hobby, your work, anything. To be told to stop doing is extremely frustrating. So if you ever encounter that frustration on the golf course where you've been trying to improve, then you need to watch this video. So welcome to Mark Amy Golf, and let's stop that frustration. So before we start, can you please smash that subscribe button, give us a good thumbs up. Any questions or comments, please send them through. So today we are covering a mini TPI screen. So if your swing has any of these characteristics listed in the screen, you need to watch the video all the way through, so then you can work out your body swing connection. So what is stopping you necessarily from improving, find out where you're currently at physically. If you want to improve that, if you don't want to improve that, then that's fine. You can then just adapt the swing around that physical limitation, which will then enable you then to improve and move forward rather than just banging your head against a brick wall. We've got 7 screens to get through. Right, let's get stuck into our first one. So our first one is pelvic rotation. So separation from the top half to the bottom half, which, as you can see listed on the screen, causes a tremendous amount of characteristics which then occur during the golf swing. So I've got a tour stick through my back loops, I've got a dowel going across the top half of my body, and you tilt forward to a mid-iron posture position. So for all these, you go into a mid-iron posture position. So you tilt forward and you are trying to separate the top from the bottom. So this is our pelvic rotation. So you're just trying to rotate that pink stick. So you're doing a rotational move and you're trying to keep the top half of the body nice and still. Now, a version where you might be struggling with this does look quite, well, interesting, funny, but you could get a little bit of a very bizarre maneuver, and it feels, or you've got the mobility but you're struggling with the stability at the top. So that's the first test in regards to trying to separate the bottom half from the top half. So that's called your pelvic rotation test. So number 2 is our torso rotation test. So this is basically the opposite of the first one. So this time we're trying to rotate the top half and keep the bottom half still. So mid-iron posture position again. This time you're rotating the dowel rather than the pink stick. So you're trying to keep that pink stick nice and stable and rotate the top half. The bad version of this would be that probably everything is moving together and it's difficult to stabilize the bottom half. And as you can see in the screen, this is the characteristics that you potentially the swing would produce. So very important in the golf swing is have those capabilities of separating the top half from the bottom half. So this one is our 90-90 test. So anyone that's got a dodgy shoulder, this is a great one to test. So this is, we've got 2 parts to this test. So you stand upright to begin with, you put your arm out so it's parallel to the floor, bend it to a 90-90 position, and then you're just gradually rotating it back. You're trying to get past your spine angle without any pain, so just nice and relaxed. You would do both sides. So that's your first one. Then you go into a mid-iron posture position. This time you've got the combination of your T-spine and your cervical rotation. They're potentially causing this to be a little bit harder, a little bit more restricted. So this time don't try too hard. So you put your arm out parallel to the floor again, bend it to that 90-90 position, and then just slowly rotate back, and you're trying to match the previous move. Just don't try and force anything. If there's any pain, you stop. So you're trying to get past your spine angle again. So on that one, that if you've got any shoulder problems, just be nice and careful with that. But that will highlight any restrictions that you've got, which will potentially send the swing path off in a different direction that you possibly want to achieve. So you can see the list in the screen again. That can cause all sorts of interesting maneuvers during your golf swing, causing all sorts of different shots. And that one's pretty easy to get round if you don't want to try and improve that. Right, let's move on to our next one. So our next one is our lap test. So I've used a dowel here. You can use a golf club. That goes on the small of your back there. So you've got to pin that basically against your wall. So you squat down until you pin that bar. That's pretty crucial, so then your lower back isn't helping you out. Put your head against the wall, stick your arms out so they're parallel to the floor, get your thumbs up so as if you're thumbing a lift, and just gradually go back, trying to keep your arms straight until you touch the wall. So if your arms bend slightly, which there's a good chance they will bend, as you can see in the screen now, then that's the point that you would stop. So you can see all the different characteristics in the screen this can cause. So this is quite a big one. This regards to changing the length of your swing. So you can easily adapt around this one and try and improve it as you go. So this is a big one. So just nice and relaxed, squat down, pin this against the wall, arms out, keep them straight, and stop as soon as they start bending. This is a great one. This one you're going to have a bit of fun at this. So this is our single leg balance test. So arms nice and relaxed down, lift your leg up so the quad is parallel to the floor, get yourself balanced first, and then close your eyes. And then any impressions that you're doing of a sort of helicopter or the foot starts wobbling, then you stop the test. So you start counting as soon as the person's closed their eyes, and then that is your result. And as you can see in the screen, this is quite a big one which can have an effect on the swing as well, and this is pretty easy to improve quite quickly. I mean, literally just practicing the test would improve it anyway. So do make sure you test both sides. So our next one is a bridge leg extension test. So if this potentially could be quite funny as well. So if you've got a person that possibly would cramp on this one, then please get your phone out and film this one. That could be quite entertaining. Not necessarily for the person doing it. So it'd be funny if I cramp up on this one. If I do, I promise to keep it and I will show you. So you would go onto the floor. Obviously you've got your knees nice and bent to begin with, and then arms. So the harder one would be arms up. The easier one would be arms down. So if we do the arms down to begin with, just to make it a little bit easier. So then just drive up from your glutes, so you get into your bridge position, and then you extend your left leg out. You're going to do both sides. So if you extend your left leg out, you're trying to maintain that bridge position and feel the work is coming more from the glute than it is from the hamstring. So you want about a 70-30 breakdown. And then you do the other side. This is a big test to see, this one, to work out whether you've got weak or strong glutes. Most of the work is coming from, say, the hamstring. The glute, once you take out core, the glute is the most powerful used muscle in the golf swing. So you want to make sure it's firing and it's not just there for the ride. Next is our wrist. So this is all the maneuvers of the wrist in the golf swing. Massive effect on strike and swing path. So our first one is flexion and extension. So if you've got a 6-iron, then grab that. Make sure the forearm and elbow is tucked to the rib cage and the forearm is parallel to the floor. You are trying to get the extension and flexion in sync with the angle of your 6-iron. So that is the way to test it, to see if you've got enough mobility in your wrist. So give that a go. Obviously make sure you do both sides. Next one is the wrist hinge. So I'm just going to use a tour stick for this so you can see. So same again, make sure those arms, forearms, elbows are tucked into that rib cage. Forearms stay parallel to the ground. You can just use a pen. So you've got your hand in position, your pen sticking straight up vertically, and then you've just got to try and go straight down and up. A bad version of that would you would see the pen divert off to the right. It would be a very strange maneuver with the wrist. Next one is rotation. So imagine you've got a bowl of soup and you just want to chuck it on the floor. So that is your rotation. So they are pretty vital and they can have a massive effect on what the club face, angle of the club face is doing, your strike and the swing path. So that is definitely worth checking the movability of your wrist. Now if you struggled with any of those screens, please send the questions or comments through or contact me directly on the, as you can see in the options below. I'm more than happy to do a Zoom call to talk you through the various different exercises you can do to improve, or how you would get around that in your swing if you feel that's a frustration and it's a difficult one for you to improve. So then we can work out your body swing connection, what's been frustrating you, and how to maneuver around those restrictions you've got and improve that golf swing where you've possibly been frustrated and banging your head against a brick wall. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, smash that subscribe button, give us a good thumbs up. Any questions, please send them through. I can do a full screen for you next time if you wish. That's no problem. Thanks for watching and see you soon.